Hello, my Uzians. Um, so my husband's siblings just introduced me to a channel. I really like them, but I myself cannot, you know, do what they do. Their name is Sock Studios. They just talk about, they have a friend group get together and they just talk about stories. And I love talking about stories. I love hearing people's stories. I love all of that mess. But I lack the equipment, I guess, and the people to do it. They have like animated stories. I could probably talk to True Lux. We can do it together or something like that. But I mean, they're gonna be full on stories. That's a lot to animate. Not really focused about the animation right now, but I'll tell you what I do have: a lot of stories. So I'm going to talk this video about a lot of the stories, or not a lot of stories, but like certain type of stories. This one's gonna be scary stories. That's the last one of them I saw. Um, and in particular, I think I'm gonna talk about some scary dreams because as far as like truly scary stories, I don't know. I'm not gonna go into all of that. But if you like this content, let me know. And if you um, have any questions about anything that I am doing in the art in the background, then let me know if you want a separate video for me explaining that. Again, don't worry about the background noises. Deal with it. I have a fan on. It's freaking hot in my room. So let's begin. So the first story I'm gonna talk about is um, I'm gonna try to go into a uh, I guess you would say format of in chronological order, like from what happened first to what happened last. And I don't know if it's going to be too accurate because I don't really know much about my own past. All I know is I had some pretty freaky experiences. Most of them is going to be with my best friend Abby. Um, but this one in particular, this was and still is the first ever dream that I ever remember. And I told, I think, two of my friends about it. Um, but it was, it's a really weird dream. But let's just head into it. So, this dream happened when I was younger. Um, what happened in the dream was I was like 4 or 5. That's the furthest back I can kind of remember, and I don't even remember that far back. But if you hear gnawing in the background, it's my dog. Um, I was out in a parking lot as a 4 or 5 year old, and in said parking lot, I I didn't really have any supervision, I guess you could say. No one, there was no adults, no cars even. A very, very empty parking lot. And because, oh, because of that, I just felt like I wanted to cry. But there was a building. Every parking lot has a building kind of thing. Um, I felt like I wanted to cry, but I saw the building and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go in there and see what's going on in there. When I get in, it looks like an indoor water park. But this isn't like one that you would want to have fun at. It looks like, the type that kids throw up in the pool. It does not look fun. Not one bit. But I saw my ninny, my aunt, and my Uncle Josh. And within seeing them, I was like, oh, thank goodness. I had like a, breath of relief and went to them. But as I was walking to them, I'm a little kid, so it was more like a waddle. As I was waddling to them, I felt something grab my leg. And I turn around, nothing's there. So I look down. I'm like, what the heck is this? This big old purple tentacle. What I didn't see when I walked into the building originally, I don't know how I didn't see it. There was a big purple, and I think it might have had blue, but it had darker spots. I'm colorblind, so I can't really tell the difference between purple and blue. So we'll just say it was purple and blue. Big purple, blue, spots, and it was grabbing other kids. There was other kids that was having fun. They're like, wee, yay, and stuff like that. I was terrified. I did not want to be on this ride. I didn't want to be on whatever it was. So, what did I do? Started screaming. And I guess in my dream, my aunt and uncle saw that as, oh, she's screaming little screams of delight. No, these were screams of terror. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. Was this thing going to eat me? Was it going to freaking, scoop out my guts and use it for soup or something like that? I didn't know anything. So, as a normal little kid, started kicking at it. It didn't care. It was just sliding me down. It was going in. If you've ever seen those little coin, things, I'll probably put one up in post if I can. But this little coin, tornado thing, where you spin the coin and it goes down, and it's for charity and stuff like that, and it, goes in a circular motion. Those things. It was doing that kind of motion, but I don't know, as an octopus, it wasn't going fast. It was doing that. It would go a little bit and stop, and then go a little bit more and then stop. So I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm trying to kick it. It did not give two hoots about anything I was doing. I was calling it, what I thought was bad words, like meanie and stinky and all that. But it just kept sliding me down the tube. And then I finally started calling out for my ninny, or my uncle. Hold on, it's kind of hard to see. There we go. Little tip, if it's bright, just make it more translucent. See? I couldn't tell if I had already did right here or not. Anyways, I was calling for my aunt, my uncle. Neither one of them were batting an eye at me. And they was just like, oh, hi, it's so cute, she's having fun. And then just started talking to the other parents. And when I was down to the bottom, I looked in, and it was a freaking black hole of the abyssness. I had no idea what was going on. I did not know where I was gonna go. All I was thinking was, I'm never gonna see these people again. But then, this is the first dream I ever remember having. And then, what had happened was, this octopus, who was taking multiple kids down this tube, had dipped me and the other kids in chocolate. So now I am in a water park that looks disgusting, dipped in a chocolate. I have a hard coating of chocolate around my body, and I am all sticky. I feel gross. I have a octopus still wrapped around my leg, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I cannot break free. And then, once the octopus finally lets me go, and gives me back to my aunt and uncle, I look around, and all the kids are just eating the chocolate off of them. But they weren't just eating it. They were eating themselves, too. Apparently, this chocolate was so good that it's okay, so what might have sparked this is, if y'all have ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, not Willy Wonka, the newer one with Johnny Depp. If y'all have ever seen that, there's a dude in there that falls on the chocolate, and he starts licking his fingers, and his mom goes, stop it. I think his name was Augustus, I don't know. stop it, Augustus. You're gonna you're gonna start eating your fingers off. And he goes, but Mom, it tastes so good, or something like that. I think that's where I got that inspiration for the dream. But at the same time, why? There was no octopus in there. Octopi, octopuses, there was none of that. Why did I have to have an octopus to freaking dump me in chocolate and then have me see all these other kids doing an Augustus freaking eating themselves? And I was the only one who thought this was weird. So then after this happened, and I went to my ninny, and I was like, I want to wash it off. She goes, oh, you're so funny. You're supposed to eat it off. I said, no, I don't want to eat myself. She goes, they're not eating themselves. They're just eating off the chocolate. And then I was like, oh, okay. So then I started licking the chocolate off, and I could not get to my fingers because I turned into chocolate. And then I woke up. I remember waking up screaming, and I went to my mama, and I was like, Mama, I don't want to eat my chocolate fingers. And she was just like, what are you talking about? Why'd you wake me up? I think it was like freaking, I don't know what time it was, but it was early in the morning. And I woke her up, and I was screaming about chocolate fingers and freaking octopi and my ninny and Uncle Josh. And she must have thought I was insane. I have tried to bring this story up to her to ask her how she, thought, what she thought whenever I told her that. But she doesn't remember. I don't blame her. It's not her story to remember. It's mine. And it's a pretty freaky one at that. I've told Turlux about that, and I think a few other friends, including my husband. But I don't know. It's just, I have so many weird stories. So many weird dreams, I mean. I do have weird IRL stories, but so many weird dreams that... let me see what time we're at. Only 12 minutes. Okay, I can tell another one. So, I'll tell you a bit... I don't know, we'll stick on the, funny but creepy side. So, as some of you know, I released a video, and it was Turlux edits my scary but funny dream, or she animated it. So I told her about this dream, I think a few weeks to a month. Oh wait, no. It was about a few weeks ago that she had sent me it again because she had just found it. So about like a month or two ago, when Turlux and I started talking again, I told her about this scary but funny dream because I think she came to me. She was scared about something, and I was like, hey, you want to hear a scary but funny dream? Kind of help you get through whatever you're scared about right now? And she was like, yeah. So I told her about the dream where the two sheets shot each other and it started flopping on the bed. I don't know how that dream started, but I know how it ended. Let's just start with the dream. So what had happened was, I remember walking through a house and then walking into a room, and I saw two sheets that they were kind of having an argument, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. It was almost like game dialogue where they just go or something like that, and they weren't saying actual words, but I heard them arguing about something. You can tell by the tone of their voice or something like that. So I was like, oh, okay, I best get out of here. They need some privacy. So I started to close the door, and one of them pulls out a gun. And I'm not going to say what the sheets are actually supposed to be, but I'm just going to, keep it at sheets. But they had pointed, tips at the top of the sheet where it was floating, kind of like if it had a pointy head or a pointy cap kind of thing. So it was just, they were just floating around, and one of them pulled out a gun, and they started, circling the bed or something like that. And the one that pulled out the gun started shooting. And it shot the other one once. And then that one pulled out a gun. And then started shooting back at the one that shot in the first place. So they were shooting each other. And then, like, blood was spraying everywhere. And then they stopped. And then they started shooting each other again. But they were already dead, so their dead bodies were flopping on the they were flopping on the bed, shooting each other. The guns were still going off somehow, and they were shooting each other. And then after that, like, I think it stopped on both of them, like, flopping onto the bed, and then both of them snapping their, like, black eyes towards me to look at me. And then I woke up. Now, when I think about it right now, think about it nowadays, it sounds silly and it sounds really fucking stupid. Like, something you shouldn't be scared about. But, I was terrified when I woke up. When I woke up, I was so scared, I had to turn on the lights in my room. And at this time, we lived in a two-bed house. Had like a big living room, big kitchen, kind of like a dining area that we put a pool table, and then 2 rooms, and in between the rooms were the bathroom. So at this point, my sister was no longer staying with us, so I had to share a room with my brother. And to everybody who's going to be like, oh, that's weird, you have to share a room with your brother. Hush. He wouldn't do anything. He is a sweetheart. Anyways, it's not weird, because he's a bigger brother. He wouldn't do anything to me, nothing to hurt me. So I turned on the light, and my brother is a really heavy sleeper. I know this is why I turned on the light. And he was just sitting there sleeping away. And I was so scared that I tried to wake him up. I poked him a little bit. And he was just like, mm-mm. So I had to go back on the bed. And as soon as I sat my little booty down onto the bed, I heard some tip-taps out in the what is it? Out in the hallway. That's what it's called. So I heard some tip-taps out in the hallway, and I immediately started freaking out. I was like, oh my lord, they're coming for me. And I was so scared. Hold on, I gotta see how this is looking. I was so scared that I couldn't move. I could not budge myself. I couldn't even freaking, like, blink. I was so scared. My eyes were hooked on the door. But then a few seconds later, I realized it's my doggies. And as soon as I was like, oh, wait, no, that's my dogs. I ran out there, swooped both of them up, one in each arm, because at this time we only had 2 wiener doggies, and I put them in my bed, and I laid there hugging them, and, they're older, so they was just like, oh, okay, well, this is my life now, laying in my arms in the bed. So I don't know, that night I couldn't. Oh, the worst part was every time I closed my eyes, I could see it was a burn. I don't know if y'all have ever had this, but a lot of times when I have really scary dreams like this, I have burned images stuck in my brain. So the image of the 2 shooting each other and flopping on the bed, although funny now, it was so scary to me, and I was not having it. I could not sleep. I started crying. You know that meme where people take their smaller animals and they'll rub their eyes with them. I was basically doing that with my dogs. I was crying, but because I was so scared to move, I was literally crying with both of them on my face, or by my face. I was kind of hiding behind my weenie dogs. and I was crying into them, so I was basically using them as a napkin. um, so yeah, that's some fucking scary stories for y'all. They're more so funny now whenever I look back at them, but I swear to you, when I went through them the first time, I was like, oh, this is horrible. This is like the worst experience I've ever had. I'm so scared, but it's really not that scary. um, if any of you, I know there's like 2 people who watch my videos, but if you 2 people want to do a collab type thing, and if you guys want to do a video where we're all talking about our, scariest dreams or scariest experiences, or even just, funny things, funny stories, pet stories, just stuff like that, stupid little things. For sure, let me know, and I will happily have other people come on here and then talk about their experiences, because it's not really, fun for just one person talking about it. This is more of a story time, and me personally, I actually don't really like story time videos, but I have no one else to do them with. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my Uzians. Again, if you have any questions about the art in the background, how I'm doing some stuff, I didn't really do anything. I'm just drawing a flower onto my rose. She's not gonna have a rose flower because I don't want all of them to have rose flowers. But yeah, that's my scary but funny video. Hope all of you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. You know the drill. Bye bye.